I am pleased today to represent the Board of Regents at this important ceremony to honor an outstanding individual who has distinguished himself in his profession at the national level. A doctoral degree is the highest individual recognition bestowed by this or any other institution of higher education. Dr. C. David Adair, Muggsy, as his classmates knew him, a nationally recognized physician and researcher, is being presented an honorary degree of Doctor of Science. A 1986 graduate of MSU, Dr. Adair is a leading researcher and innovative developer in the field of obstetrics and gynecology. He is professor and vice chair of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the University of Tennessee College of Medicine and director of women's services at Erlanger Hospital. In addition to these positions, Dr. Adair is founder and chief science officer of Glenveagh Medical, a pharmaceutical company committed to OB/GYN issues, and co-founder and CEO of Regional Obstetrical Consultants. The focus of both Dr. Adair's practices and research is high-risk pregnancies. He has been nationally recognized for his success in improving the care and outcome for mothers and babies in highly complicated pregnancies. Currently, his efforts relate to the treatment of preeclampsia and eclampsia. Dr. Adair received his undergraduate degree in biological sciences at Morehead State, his medical degree from Marshall University, residency in obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Florida Health Science Center in Jacksonville, and fellowship in maternal fetal medicine at Wake Forest University. He received training at Henry Ford Hospital, National Maternity Hospital in Dublin, Ireland, and at the Renal Unit Mass General Hospital. Dr. Adair has continually been a strong supporter of Morehead State. He resides in Chattanooga, Tennessee, with his wife and their 3 children. Mr. President.
Thank you. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Morehead State University, I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Science with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
Please. Well, good morning. It's truly an honor to be before you all because you represent the future. And I must admit, I was having a little hood envy sitting with all the distinguished people without a hood. And so I guess we made up for that. Pimped out the ride. So when I sat and where you sat about almost 30 years ago, I'm sure they dusted off some old fart to come in and do this too as well. And so what I'll try to do is be very brief because brevity is a virtue. But I'd really like to direct everything to you all as the graduating class of 2013. First, I want you to know we welcome you to the family of MSU alums. And it's an important assignment because going forward, you're going to be the lifeblood of this university. You're going to represent us in all your endeavors. And we're very proud of your accomplishments. Second, I would tell you to go home and tell your mom and dad and your family and friends who supported you through this endeavor. I would be amiss if I didn't acknowledge my mother and my family who's sitting to the right with Mrs. Andrews, because a lot of people are sacrificed, as I'm sure they did in your family, to give you the opportunity. Attending college is not a right, it's a privilege, and you earned that and you worked very hard for your degree. What I would tell you from experience is this. Number one, you need to be flexible, because everything that you've learned in another 10 years, 50% will be obsolete. So if you don't keep becoming a lifelong learner, you're going to be outdated in about 10 years. When I was in school, Pluto was a planet. Okay? I was shocked in 8th grade science class that Pluto no longer was considered a full-fledged planet. Life changes. I'm a surgeon. Okay? People give me knives to cut on people, to heal, to improve their outcomes. I go through TSA, and I guess I look kind of like a terrorist or something, and I'm asked to forego my fingernail clippers and asked if I'd like to have a private room for my screening. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do that we can't do in person? Okay. So we've had a lot of changes. I remember coming into Cartmel Hall in the parking lot to get my first schedule, and it was really technical. We had 3x5 cards. Does anyone remember a 3x5 index card? Okay. That's what I was receiving. You guys now take classes online. You register and drop online. I have an 18-year-old, and it's amazing to me that she interacts with her professors on a 24/7 basis on the internet. So things do change. So I want you to embrace the idea of becoming a lifelong learner. The last thing I'd leave you with is this: as that you leave the physical constraints of Morehead State, remember the Spirit is in your heart. And I would challenge you to give back and play it forward. Particularly the majority of you from Eastern Kentucky like myself. I grew up in a small place called Turkey Creek. And I know a lot of people there would cherish to have the opportunity to be sitting where you are now. So I would challenge you to this, and I'm going to give you a challenge. I think there's about 1,000 graduates. I would ask that you start your giving now, okay? Because it's not when you win the lotto or you become a multimillionaire that you start to bequeath things to schools and charities, etc. It's a lifelong habit, and you have to start early and often, as they vote in Chicago. Give freely and willingly of your heart. So I'm going to challenge you, okay? There's 1,000 graduates. I'm going to ask each of you, when you get your new job, and I'm going to give you to Labor Day, okay? So you got 90 days to do this. Mr. Shaw is going to keep record of this graduating class, and I'll match you dollar for dollar up to $10,000, okay? That's just $10 a person, okay? And that'll get you started on bequeathing back to the university who gave so much to you. And that's a way you can honor the faculty who really helped you achieve what you did in your family. I appreciate your attention. I wish you the best in your endeavors. And if I personally can ever be of any help, I'd love to help any of you anytime. Thank you.